Welcome once again. This is Stephanie with Apex Languages with another edition of Grown Up Grammar. Today, we're going to talk about articles. Do you see the word article here? What is it doing? Now, when I say article, I'm not talking about the newspaper. The word comes from Latin artus, which means knuckle or joint. Like your knuckles play an important role in you being able to use your hands, the articles are an important tool in English. It's very easy to remember what they are because there's only 3 of them: a, un, and the. They're small words, but remember that small words can be powerful. What do articles do? They describe the level of specificity. The, also known as the definite article, is the most specific. A or un, the indefinite articles, are more general. For example, a dog. I don't know this dog. I've never seen him before. He's just a dog, any dog. But if I say the dog in the back, I'm specifically talking about that one dog. The dog in the front. That's a different dog. And so I'm using it to be more specific. Let's take water as another example. So if I just say water, I'm referring to water as a general abstract concept. I'm basically referring to any water that's ever existed ever. I like to drink water. I like to swim in water. There's a lot of water in the ocean. But if I say a water, I'm referring to a glass of water. Now, if I'm in a restaurant and I ask for a water, I'm not very picky about which one I'm talking about. I assume they'll go in the back and they'll fill up some water from the tap, and I'm fine with that. Or maybe I want a bottled water, but I don't want any specific one. I just want you to go grab a bottle of water and bring it to me. The water, however, is the most specific. And that's if I'm saying a specific water, the water in front of me on the table. I want the water on the left. I want the water on the right. And so the makes it the most specific possible. I'll go more into detail in later videos about when to use when not to use the, but for the moment, let's wrap up with a discussion about a versus un. You may be aware that you're supposed to use a in front of consonants, and un comes before vowels. The most important thing to remember is that we're talking about sounds, not spelling. So I've got a melon, a lime, a lemon. Melon starts with an M, lime with an L, lemon with an L. Those are all consonants. And orange, because orange starts with an O, and that's a vowel. But what about with these nouns? Which indirect article should you use for these words? Well, for house, it's a house. Simple enough, right? But again, don't look at the spelling to make sure that I'm right. Think about the pronunciation. House starts with an H. H is a consonant, so that makes sense. But hour is hour. And that's because even though the spelling has an H, the pronunciation has a vowel sound, hour. Okay? Now, herb's a little tricky depending on where you come from. There's actually two different pronunciations. In the United States, we say herb. There's no H sound. And so you use un because there's no vowel. But in British English, in the UK, they say herb. Herb. So if you're in England, you say a herb. Let's look at these words now. What do you think? Well, unicorn, it starts with a U when you spell it, but the pronunciation has a Y sound. Y, unicorn. And so we say a unicorn. Uncle, uh. Okay, the pronunciation is a vowel, so we say uncle. A united country. Well, I gave you the answer already. Sorry about that, but united. Okay. Finally, as well as looking out for H's and U's, you also want to be careful about acronyms. Acronyms are when you use the initials of a word to create a new word. So CIA, FBI, etc. Which indirect articles do you think I should use here? Okay. CIA, a CIA agent, because that's an S sound and S is a consonant. But even though FBI starts with an F, you would think, listen, F, the first sound is a vowel, and so you actually say FBI agent. IRS, I, that's another vowel, IRS accountant. But U.S. Congressman, well, united, we saw that already. U.S. U.S. Congressman. Well, I hope you learned something new today. It's a pleasure as always. Thank you for watching. Check out our website at apexlanguages.com for more videos. Have a wonderful day.